where do you see Cleveland going with this?
They've got this. Now, this is where I think they do have a little bit. This is where the quarterback game is important because Kenny Pickett's the only quarterback on the roster, right? He's it. Mm-hmm. They're not going to run it back with Jameis. They could. This is where Jameis is kind of a just in case. Maybe they could with Russ. Do not, and you can call me crazy, do not rule this out, that they make a play for Kirk Cousins. Because the Falcons are not going to cut Kirk Cousins.
Right.
They're not going to cut. Why would they? They could trade him at any point. They could pay him that $10 million bonus, and everyone's just like, oh, man, they're going to cut. They don't care about that.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
They don't care about that because guess what? If you trade him, the other team could pick up at least part of the contract. So that $10 million is a wash. So they can hang on to Kirk Cousins through the draft. They can hang on to him in the minicamp. And if Cleveland doesn't have a quarterback, if Cleveland decides to go with Abdul Carter or go with somebody in the draft at the number 2 pick and they don't have a quarterback, guess what? Cleveland might say, you know what, Atlanta, we'll give you a 5th-round draft pick for next year, and we'll pick up half of Kirk's contract or 2/3 of Kirk's contract. That could happen at a couple places. So for everyone who's just like, oh, Atlanta's going to cut him and then Kirk Cousins could sign anywhere, no. And if Kirk's got a no-trade clause, he dare. With the character he supposedly has, you think he dares say, you know what? I don't want to go to Cleveland. I'll be the backup. That's all you need to know about him.
Wait.
Ralph, would you ask him the question? Ask him the other question. Ask him the Deshaun question. You trying to get around it? Ask the Deshaun question.
Do you think Deshaun is done? You think Cleveland's done with Deshaun?
Remember, he's got the Achilles. He's not playing this season. He retore his Achilles.
That's right.
He was probably not going to be back the middle of the way through the season anyway. And remember, about a month or so ago, he had a setback in his rehab where he retore. Right. So physically, he's going to miss, unless he has miraculous healing, he's going to miss almost the entire season anyway. So they got to have somebody in it. Medically, he's not going to be there.
Right.
So
and they want somebody in there anyway with everything else that's happening. He's going to get paid. The money's guaranteed.
So what about Pittsburgh? I mean, now because I'm just thinking, I don't know why I think about this.
Maybe Pittsburgh gets into the Kirk Cousins deal, but they already gave up some freight to get DK Metcalf.
Right.
But if they wait until after the draft, then those picks are for future years. So there you have it. So that's what I'm saying. I think one of these teams is going to be in a position. Now, Pittsburgh's a playoff team, right?
Right.
Unless they're out of quarterback options. You think they're going to say, okay, we're going to get this done with Joe Flacco. We're going to get this done with Jameis Winston. We're going to get this done with Carson Wentz. No. Here with Justin Fields and Russ.
Right.
So let's go ahead and try and get this done with Kirk Cousins. So again, there's going to be a team out there, and don't let Aaron Rodgers say, I'm going to retire.
Oh,
because then that all of a sudden that pulls
one out the pot.
Correct. So again, that's why I think Atlanta has played this beautifully by saying they're not going to cut Kirk Cousins because they're eventually should be a trade partner. I'm not saying it's going 100% going to happen, but I think they will, and I think Kirk Cousins will waive his no trade clause. Especially if it goes through the draft.